Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in Crystal Lake, Illinois. It means it's time for another live stream. Today is it Wednesday? I think today's Wednesday because we had a holiday Monday. Then yesterday was Tuesday. So today's Wednesday. It's September. I'm going to say it's September 6th. I know that because today is the day that pre-orders went out for GoPro Hero 12. I pre-ordered. GoPro doesn't ever send me anything. They never contacted me. I don't think they've ever interact with me on social media. No thumbs up, no likes, no nothing. That's okay. They make a good product. I've had every single GoPro from, I don't think I had number 4, but I had number 3. So this will be like my 8th or 9th GoPro. But I'm looking forward to it because my GoPro 11 died. So I did pay for expedited shipping. Hopefully I'll get that soon. And also today is the day that the embargo lifts for this. The Janji and La Sportiva collab. I've had this for a little while. I almost accidentally opened it up on the live stream. But I got a follow-up email from someone saying, hey, that's under embargo. Don't open it yet. And so we're going to open it today. But before I do, let's say hi to everyone listening on the audio-only version on the podcast. Hopefully you guys are having a good run. Today, it rained overnight here in Crystal Lake. And so the excessive heat from yesterday broke at least a little bit. But it's still very humid. So I had a humid run. By tomorrow, or maybe the time by you're listening to this, hopefully the humidity has broken and now you're kind of into like fall-like temperatures, if I can even venture to say that. I feel like this is like the fake fall, a little blast of fall before another heat wave that we get in October, and then we'll get into actual fall. But I think the next couple of days are going to be some good running. So hopefully you're at the start of that by the time you're listening to this. And everyone else watching this later on YouTube, but not live, welcome to you guys as well as the #1 running podcast for unboxing of running related products. Let's see who else we got here in the chat. We got Runner Will says, hey, Cohen, everyone. It's the podcast with the most unboxing ever, LOL. And thanks, Mike. I am mending. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Will. Will had a little bit of a health issue, and it's good. I've been following him on Instagram and keeping in contact with him, and it looks like he's making some recovery. So he says, I so appreciate you and the co-fam. Well, thanks, Will. Thanks for the update. Glad to hear that you're doing better. Daniel Burton says, I ran 2 miles and biked 4.5 miles. It's a nice morning. And Frank, look at this fact from Frank. Anyone see this thing where 11,000 people were DQ'd from the Mexico City Marathon for intentionally cheating? A third of the runners had no intention of doing the race, but just wanted the medal. Wow, that's a lot of people. Why would you want the medal for a race you didn't actually finish? That's the part that I just don't understand. I can understand, but you know what? Here's the thing. That sounds like so unbelievable. But then again, someone told me when I ran Peachtree this year that the reason that they give out the shirt, not at the expo, but at the finish line, I just thought it was maybe a logistics issue. Maybe it just makes it easier, less chaoticness at the expo. And then you just give out the shirts at the finish line and encourage people to hang out in the park afterwards. But the reason they said, someone told me that I don't remember who told me, maybe it was probably Drew. But someone told me that the reason why they don't give out the shirts until you cross the finish line at Peachtree is because people would sign up for the race, go to the expo, get the shirt, and then not run the race. So, I mean, I don't know. People like runner merch, I guess, and like the trappings of running. But that's bizarre. 11,000 people. Oh man, how did they find them? Like looking at the camera, or they were like 11,000 people ran 245 marathons this year. I just can't. It's so bizarre. I need more information on this, Frank. Mark Peterson says, hey everyone, a much needed day off of running for me today. Barely kept pace for my 7-mile steady run yesterday. Too bad I was 90 degrees then and only 65 today. Mark, well, I'm glad you're taking a day off, but maybe you should have moved the steady run over a day. But I'm sure you probably thought I was going to be fine. And it probably would have been fine. But 90 degrees is pretty hot to be running. 7 steady. All right. Let's see. Sean Devlin's here. He says, hey, everyone. Tough run this morning. Ridiculously humid. September is the new August. My wife and I have been talking about this for years. I feel like all the seasons have been shifted by a month. Like, you know how, we all say 365 days in a year, and every once in a while we have to have a new year? Well, it's not that, like, every 4th year we need an extra day to make the circumsolar, to go around the sun, whatever. it's like imprecise, right? And so like I just feel like over time, either it's I mean, it's probably global warming. That's the easy answer. But I also just feel like over time, like these like quarter days that it takes us to get around the sun are adding up, and now like the seasons are just shifted. I don't know. I'm not trying to start any conspiracy theories here. But yeah, seasons are all messed up. The calendars are all weird. My daughter had 2 cross country meets canceled due to heat. Now, when have you heard of that? I mean, like growing up, it was like cross country meets get canceled because of snow, because it's too cold. Yeah, but never because of heat. Never heard of that. So that's new. That's our new normal, I guess. Okay, let me scroll down here. Frank says it's pretty lazy cheating to not even run to the first checkpoint. I mean, I guess if all you wanted was the medal, who cares if you got disqualified? I guess, right? But I just feel like it makes the race look crappy. You know what I mean? Governing with Oliver says like 11,000 people missed all their checkpoints according to officials. Oh, well, that makes sense. Except for, I guess, the finish line. Interesting. Let's see. Adam says, I have a friend in Malaysia who says a lot of people there cheat at races too. I don't understand this, guys. I'm not sure. I'm having a hard time understanding this behavior. It's very strange. Yeah, Sean Devlin says, do people flip them online after? I don't know. Because I mean, it's like the irony is that like most of the time, if I get a medal after a race, I throw it away. It doesn't even get it. It doesn't even make it into my bag to come home most of the time, unless it's a major. You know what I mean? But like, if there's an option, I've run Cherry Blossom a couple of times. I don't have any Cherry Blossom medals because they let you pick to not get one. And then for Falmouth, the Falmouth medals were nice, especially the first year I went. I think it was an anniversary year, but I left it in my hotel room. I don't know. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe I'm being disrespectful to the race by not keeping the medals, but I don't want the medals. So I don't know. All right. Let's see what else we got in here. Mark Peterson says, "Is it social media clout?" Yeah, I don't know. Daniel Burton says, "Why are you cheating? What's the point?" Yeah, I don't know. Jennifer Herring says, "People ruin everything." That's true. That's true. The problem with a lot of places is the people, for sure. Yeah, and Justin Collin says, "I heard that cheating and cutting corners is huge at Disney runs." Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me either. Because I feel like especially at Disney runs, you're going there to like go and experience the atmosphere. You take selfies. There's photo opportunities along the run. You know, like no one cares about your time. You could walk the whole thing. You know, I mean, I guess maybe if you were like didn't want to like spend that much time out there, you know, and you were going to walk a lot. I just don't know. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Philip says, apparently the Mexico City Marathon has a different letter of the city's name every year, and that's why people do it multiple years in a row to get them all. Okay. This is fascinating. The fascinating part about this is that like the news and the information about it is unraveling or like revealing itself through you guys in the chat. So I'm discovering it like as we go. And so, all right. So there's the incentive. That is a pretty cool incentive. But you don't see Indianapolis does the same thing. Like every 4 years, like it makes like a giant medal if you do Indy Monumental Marathon, right? But you don't hear people doing that at Indy. But this is amazing. Go Running with Oliver says that the Mexico City cheaters took public transportation to the finish line. Can you imagine that? It's not like a few people would be on there. It would take an entire train of people. You just be like, I'm going to get on the train with all these other people who are also cheating. What the heck? That doesn't make any sense. Wow. And Duke BB says, is it a situation that people follow others without knowing they're cheating? No, I don't think so. I don't think if they're getting on the bus, if they're getting on the bus or public transportation, I don't think so. That is pretty wild. Pretty wild. Patrick Smith says, feels the same about medals, but curious what your ultimate personal goal with running is. I don't think I have a personal goal with running. You know, I just enjoy I like running. I like challenges. I like adventures. And, I guess like seeing what your body can do, seeing where your body can take you, that kind of thing. But like, I don't have any like specific goals. I mean, maybe before I would have been like to break 3. But I was able to do that this year. So it's like, I think I'm in a post time goal era of my running. So I don't really have any specific goals. I have things I want to do, but like, I don't have like an ultimate personal goal. Just enjoying the running. Adam says, you don't have to understand it. I don't. And you have to realize but you have to realize that it happens and do things as race directors to prevent it. That's true. That's true. Because then it's just chaos. Ugh. Sean Mann says, I've been dealing with Morton's neuroma. Haven't been running at all for the last 3 weeks. I think it's almost gone now. Trying to keep up my cardio on the Stairmaster. Yeah, I would. If you think it's a Morton's neuroma, I think you need to see a physician. I don't think that Morton's neuroma goes away with rest. That's my understanding. I don't know. I people keep telling me I have a Morton's neuroma, but I don't think I do. But it might be worth checking out if it's been 3 weeks. Yeah. Andrew C says, do you think road running to trail running is inevitable? LOL. I don't think so. I mean, I've been spending a lot of time in the trails and it's really, really fun. But I prefer road running. I enjoy running in the trail and I think it's a nice complement to my road running. Maybe it's the fact that I live in the Midwest, where I don't have access to like the mountains of Colorado or the Alps in Chamonix. But I don't think it's inevitable. And if you look at the numbers, for the vast majority of people, they run on roads and never make it to the trails. So I think that people forget. I think YouTube gives us a skewed perception of like how many people run on the roads versus how many people run on trails, because there's a lot of trail content on YouTube. Trail runners adopted YouTube as a way of kind of like telling stories very, very early. Road running is still relatively new to it. And I think that has a lot to do with the nature of the racing and the nature of the training, and some of the differences in road running versus trail running itself. But if you think about the numbers, it's like road running is like 19 times bigger, 20 times bigger than trail running. And even when I do like shoe reviews, I can guarantee you that a trail shoe will do no better than half as good as a road shoe. It's just the way that it is. Maybe if I had more beautiful scenery around or whatever, or maybe if I was as charismatic as Ginger Runner, then I would have better views on my trail shoes. But like, yeah, a new shoe might get anywhere between 30 to 50,000 views for me on YouTube. A trail shoe, if I get 15,000, that's a pretty good day. All right, let's see. Go Running with Oliver says Martin has a new Gel 160. Yeah, I saw that email, but I think that I don't know, the luster of Martin gels is starting to fade for me. I'm not as big on the Martin gels anymore. I think for my next race, I'm going to try to race with the Science and Sport that I train with. I'm going to see if that helps me. Let's see. Philip Bourne says, hey, Mike, any idea when the Nova Blast 4 will come out? Got a marathon on the 1st of October, and then New Balance and the Nova Blast 3 did a good job last year, so I'm kind of hoping for Nova Blast 4 for this time around. I don't know if I can share that information. So I do have an idea of when it'll come out, but I cannot share that with you. Sorry. I just shouldn't have addressed this comment, I guess. Emilio Castaneda says, "Hey Mike, I picked up the ASICS Super Blast after watching your review of them, and I love them. Just broke my half marathon PR last weekend. Great job. And I'm looking forward to using them in Chicago next month." Well, that's pretty cool. Yeah. More info on Chicago. We will be doing the pizza shakeout. There will be pizza shirts. So that's all good news. I just had a call with Thomas. Believe in the Run will also be doing a shakeout, so there'll be plenty of shakeouts for people to choose from. Yeah, they won't be coming to mine. But you know who did say that they'll be coming to the pizza shakeout? Ben Parks and Sarah Place. They're coming to Chicago this year, and they said, save us a slice. So, yeah, so hopefully you'll be able to see them if you come to the Chicago Marathon Pizza Shakeout. So it should be a really fun. It should be a really, really fun weekend. William Kim says, how do you do trail running? It sounds fun. I've been wanting to try for myself. I only started running 2 months ago, and I managed to run 10K without stopping. Do you just run a hiking trail? Pretty much. That's pretty much it. You know, I'm in the Midwest, so I pretty much run. There are state parks. Like when I go visit my in-laws in Iowa, there are some state parks and stuff like that that are like hiking trails that I can go run, and they're very fun trails to run. There's a lot of different kinds of terrain, elevation gains, different kinds of, ecosystems that I'll be running through, you know, habitats. But here, when I'm at home in the suburbs in Crystal Lake, you know, it's like I go to like the town park, run through the woods a little bit, and it's kind of like a miniature version of that. So like there's just paths and trails in the woods at your local parks, and I just run through there. Sometimes I could just run on them with regular road shoes, but it kind of is really hard on the road shoes when I do that. So I do prefer to run in trail shoes on even those lighter trails as well. So that's what it is. You know, just go find a park. I usually like to look at the park map ahead of time to see what kind of trails there are, to give me a sense of like how long I might be out there. And then don't be afraid to get lost, because you probably will. I know I get lost all the time, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It's a really great way to mix up your road running as well, because it's going to be softer surfaces that you're running on, so it's easier on the body. But yeah, just trail running is just go out there and start. You know, also if you have a friend that does trail running, ask them to take you with them one time. That's always the best way to go. If someone else, I think it was Lauren Fleshman who wrote a really beautiful line in her book. And she was talking about how when she started running with the high school cross country girls, she said that it was really exciting to go somewhere new with someone else who knew the way. And I just felt like that was such a lyrical line. I don't know if I'm quoting it exactly, but I feel like a lot of running is that way. It's always really good to go somewhere new with someone else who knows the way. Calvin says, the scenery is better in trail running, and run runners are so serious about time. They don't want the hassle of documenting the races, unlike you, Mike. Yeah, I think that there's a lot of that. So yeah, there's just differences in the cultures, relatively speaking, to each kind of type of running. I do think that trail running is very different than road running, and the attitudes are very different. I especially feel like people that like run walk, trail running is a great place. There's a lot of walking. There's a shirt that I really wished I had bought. I normally am not a merch guy when I go to races, but when I was in UTMB, there's a couple of shirts that I really wanted to get. I regret not getting, like, my older daughter likes to, if I get her souvenirs, she likes t-shirts. There was a really cool like Chamonix t-shirt. Had like a picture of the Alps on it. It looked super cool. I walked by this t-shirt store like 17 times, and I kept thinking I would go in when I had more time. And then next thing I knew, I'm like, oh, I'm leaving tomorrow morning at like 6 a.m. I'm not gonna be able to get that shirt. So I felt bad about that. And then the other one that I wanted to get was the Expo had some really cool shirts too. And there's one that it was a UTMB shirt, and on the back it just said, I walk all the climbs, just repeated over and over. And I was like, I love that shirt. I wish I had gotten one, because trail running for me is a lot of, I guess, power hiking, if you want to call it that, but just walking. I do a lot of walking. All right. Let's see. Calvin Huang says, I'm big on the science and sport. Beta line of gels and precision fuel and hydration are awesome too. I had never really been interested in precision fuel and hydration until like Lindsay Flanagan has been working with them. I don't know if they sponsor her, but they should. But she's been working with them and she's been talking up how good it is. So I'm like, oh, maybe I have to take a look at that. And then the beta line, I don't know. I just feel like the naming of it is really strange. Like Sciences Sport Beta, the beta fuel. And because there's the whole like the alpha, beta, and then sigma thing that exists in toxic masculinity Instagram. That's part of it. But also beta to me means like it's not ready yet. Like alpha testing, beta testing, and then there's a launch. So I'm like, is this not ready? Is it gonna be ready? Is this gonna give me stomachache later? That's why I always feel like it's weird. Justin Calawan says, is it true you may do a shakeout for a New York City Marathon? I'm not sure. I'm working with trying to figure out which brands I can connect with to see if I could do a shakeout. I most definitely will be at the Believe in the Run shakeout run. They'll probably have a huge one at a Columbus Circle. So I'll definitely go to that one. I went to that one last year. If I do another one on my own besides that, I'm not sure if I will or not. But I'm not going to run New York this year. I'm not racing. So like, I'll probably try to go to like the Tracksmith one. Last year theirs was in Brooklyn. I'll go to the Believe in the Run one. I don't know if I'll be doing one. I am working to hopefully try and set up a meet and greet while we're in New York. I may be hosting some panels as well. So I'm not sure. I'll be around in New York. I'll be doing stuff, and there'll be chances to run together with me and also meet me in non-running settings too. So once that stuff gets kind of more finalized, I'll be able to share it with you. All right. Daniel Burton says box time. Let's go. All right. I've had this one in the house for a long time. Janji and La Sportiva doing a collab. I like it when brands do these collabs. I think it's fun. I've already seen kind of like some other people unboxing what they had. So like, I think I know what's in here, but I'm actually not positive. So let's take a look. First, we got a hat. Look at this print. This is awesome. It looks reminds me of like a canyon wall. It's the very floppy hat that Janji makes. It's very packable, very quick dry. Nice. And then multi-pass sling in the same print. I think this looks great. Their slings are always very comfortable, and I love it in this print pattern. This is really nice. I think I have like 3 of these now, and I keep trying to get my daughter to like take some and use them, but she never likes them for some reason. But this one, I think there's a chance. We'll see. This one looks really nice. This one, ooh, look at this. So when you get stuff from Janji, it always comes rolled up. So look at this. I thought it was just like, I just thought they threw in a blue shirt. This is a Janji shirt. I thought maybe they just threw in another one, but it's a blue shirt with the La Sportiva kind of color thing on it. And then on the back, it's got this new reflective logo, which I've never seen before. So that's cool. Instead of like this is kind of like a take on the water logo down here. I don't know if that's showing up, but in a different form. So new stuff. And then look at these shorts. I think this is the AFO 5-inch. Yeah, men's AFO 5-inch middle short. Key pocket up front, and then a zipper pocket in the back. It can fit a phone if you take your. I have an iPhone SE. That fits in here fine if I take the case off. So it's a smaller pocket, but the shorts are comfy and quick drying, and I love this color. Here's the question. Can I wear this all together? Like, I get the hat going, the shirt, and the shorts. Should I do it? I feel like I should. And the multi-sling. I feel like I should just put them all together on at the same time. Oh man. Calvin Hong says it all looks sedimentary. Nice. Mark Meter says those are Zubas. They're like trail Zubas. And Frank says, is it supposed to be geologic striations? I think so, like a canyon wall. And Daniel Burton says, do it. Put them all together. All right. I'll have to put on I'll have to make a reel where we go over everything that's in here. Yeah. Let's see. Eric Vensky said it'd be serious tourist dad vibes if worn all together. Like, do you think I should go, like if I'm going to run rim to rim to rim and I wore that, people be like, "Ooh, I don't know if this guy's gonna make it." And Adam says matching is no good, especially in trail running. I think you're right. I think you're right. And Kirsty wants to know, did I get the shoes too? There's one more thing in the box. It's a nice box. Look at this. La Sportiva and Janji, your door to the world. This is Janji's first time working on a shoe. And my first time with a La Sportiva. But here it is. Look at this thing. Woo! This upper design is wild. Believe that there is a compressed EVA rock plate in here. Let me see. See if I still have it up. I had some stats on here before. I think I lost it. Let me see if I can find it real quick in my email. Okay. So, no-so thermal adhesive TPU reinforcements on the upper and recycled sandwich mesh. I'm guessing that's sandwich mesh. And then TPU toe caps. Midsoles are a combination of EVA and Infinitu polyurethane. Inserts for a balance of long distance cushion and trail stability. 1.5 millimeter dual density compressed EVA rock plates. Double friction, spelled Frixion. 2.0 dual compound rubber, features impact brake system, and 3.5 millimeter lugs for traction. So, interesting. My first La Sportiva. What do you guys think about this? This rubber feels super grippy. It feels kind of like, when you're like on a gym floor and it's very clean and it's squeaky. That's kind of what this feels like. Super grippy. So I think they look nice. Let's get some focus. Can we get focus? There we go. Focus on the shoe. Nice. Daniel Burton says they look really comfortable. They do look comfy. I kind of have in my mind a thought on like La Sportiva shoes because I feel like they're like kind of like super intense trail shoes. Comfort is not what they're about. They're about like performance, traction, grip, stability, and this shoe looks nice. I mean, it feels very stiff in the midsole. These materials feel very stiff and it feels like it's very well planted, but like there's breathable parts here on the side of the shoe. The toe box doesn't look like it's too crazy. A little bit of padding, but not too much on the sides. This will be nice. I'll have to find some trails to run this on. So, Jennifer Herring wants to know what's the weight. I don't have a weight number on it. They say it's a design for runners looking for a plush cushion, a wider fit, and higher volume. It is based off the Jackal 2. The Jackal 2 trail running shoes keep your feet steady and stoked for long runs through rough and technical terrain. I don't have a weight. It's lighter than it looks, though. I'm holding it in hand. So, Mark Peterson says, "What word vomit did they come up with the name for that colorway?" It's called Tectonic Shift / Poppy. So all you guys that are talking about psychedelics in the chat, you're right. You're right. Lou says, where's the jacket? I don't have a jacket. There's no jacket in here. And Vanessa says, you got to wear the whole outfit together. You'll look like an alien pretending to be a human trail runner. Yeah. I mean, the whole time I was in Chamonix, I'm like, hopefully I'll be able to fit in with everyone here with all my trail running costumes. I have many trail running costumes. So that feels normal to me. Kurt says, Laura Green said that they were good even on the run. Commute to Trails in her video today about her trails in Boston. I saw that one. That was really funny. Is that the jacket? The one that Laura was wearing? I don't have that jacket. I don't think I need the jacket. I think I'm good. Cosmic Pineapple Michael says, I would have guessed birthday cake confetti. Birthday cake confetti is the name of the laces of the SC Trainer 2. That's what I call it. So, yeah. And Paul Public says, there's a crazy colorful mountain range in China, and it reminds me of that. I mean, I definitely get mountain vibes from it. I don't get too, I mean, I guess it's called like, what is it called? Tectonic shift, poppy. I don't get, I mean, I could see where people are getting like the psychedelic part from it. But it's not like, it's very different than, say, for example, a Noosa. That's like super trippy. But this, I just feel like it's like a colorful take on mountain designs. An alternative to like a topographic map design, Calvin Huang says, Kafuzi Run Club singlet update. The order's been placed. And I'm just waiting for Rabbit to make them. So I put a 50% deposit down, which was a lot. So hopefully you guys will buy them when they come in. So, yeah. And Mark Peterson says, got an email from REI 18 minutes ago all about this gear. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm on the REI guest list or email list, but I got an email from someone. It might have been from Janji, I think. I didn't realize there's a pull tab on the back. And the pull tab says, run everywhere. And then on the back of the shoe is a little infinity sign. See that? I don't know that I would pick this based on what I'm feeling so far. I don't even have it on my foot, but I don't know that I'd pick this from road to trail. But on some pretty like slippery stuff, I think this will be a lot of fun. Yeah. So there we go. All right. Cool. What else we got here in the chat? Phil Ortman says, what color do you want? Yes, it is all the colors. Or many of them anyway. When I was in Chamonix, I was in the Alps. I guess there was two buildings that I saw that everyone was like, oh, do you remember that pink building? And I couldn't tell that they were pink. One was this bistro in town in Chamonix. And then people were like, meet me by the pink building, by the pink cafe. And I was like, there's a pink building in here? I had no idea. I couldn't figure that out. And then there was another building. I think pink on buildings is really hard for me to see. I think just pink is hard for me to see. Pink on buildings is hard for me to see. Pink hair is also really hard for me to see. Like one time it was just, I remember it had been like, I think my wife and I were having a conversation about someone that was either like a babysitter or someone that worked with our kids. And they were like, yeah, you remember her. She has pink hair. And I'm like, I don't know anyone that works with their kids that has pink hair. I'm like, are you serious? And my wife's like, are you serious? She has very pink hair. And then I had to look at it. And then when I look at it again, I'm like, oh, that is pink hair. But the other building that I saw was, I think that was in Triant. Yeah, not Valorsine, Triant. As the runners come through, they pass this, it's in Switzerland, and they pass a really tall pink church. And I was like, people were like, oh, so you were in Triant. Did you see the pink church? And I'm like, I saw a church, but I didn't see a pink one. I don't remember a pink church. And they're like, you couldn't miss it. It's the church in Triant. And I'm like, all right, well, maybe I'll go look back at my footage. I'm pretty sure I got it. But it's like, that's the only church in that little town. So I can't see pink. Frank says, it doesn't look too aggressive lug-wise, though, more like an ultra shoe than a fell runner. Yeah, I think so. Well, it kind of, in the ad copy, it said it was like designed for like longer runs. And And Adam says, like, the Sportiva is known for a very grippy runner, and for me, that made them seem heavier or less nimble than they were. Yeah, 3.5 millimeter lugs. I mean, this is all stuff that I'm kind of used to, but like, it all feels very jagged. It feels very aggressive on this outsole. So I feel like it'll have probably a really good grip. So looking forward to testing out. I'll probably test it out next time. Oh, I guess it's kind of wet today. Maybe I'll take them out tomorrow if the trails are muddy around here. But yeah, I know a lot of them their shoes are like for fell running, like the nastiest stuff. The kind of stuff where like if you're not careful, the mud will take your shoe. I think that's what I think of when I think about La Sportiva. Also, I forget what his name was, but there was a guy who made really beautiful trail running videos in Tasmania or like New Zealand. I think he wore a lot of La Sportiva. I forget his name, but I used to watch his videos all the time. They were so lovely. Yeah, I've never run on La Sportiva before. I didn't even know you can get them in the United States, to be honest with you. But yeah. CV76 wants to know, did I carry my passport with me everywhere? I did, because they told us like we might need him when Kraft had set up a guide to drive us in like a little minivan to Triant. We went out to Triant and then circled back to Valenciennes and then went back to Chamonix. And in doing that, you would go into Switzerland. And so they were like, I was like, do we need to bring our passports with us? And then our Kraft people were like, they say that they like it if you do, but like, I think we did pass the checkpoint, but I think the car just rolled through. The car didn't even stop. And then we were in Geneva to get to, driving from Geneva, the airport, to get to Chamonix. Also, the same thing happened. Like, I had my passport ready, but like we had arranged a van to take us up, and then not we, but someone had arranged a van for us to go up, and then the van just like slowed down a little bit, and the guy was like, "They know me. I drive through here a lot," and so I didn't actually have to show my passport anywhere. But in the airport, you always have to show your passport all the time when you're going everywhere internationally. It's weird because like in the US, they're like, "Can I see your driver's license?" And I'm like, "Sure." And then like when you go to the airport, they don't even want to see your boarding pass. They're just like, "I need your passport." And that always feels weird. I'm like, it seems excessive. Like when you sign up for stuff online and they're like, enter your social security number. We'll use that as your login. And I'm like, I think that's unnecessary. That's kind of how I feel about it. But I guess it's the airport and people are flying. But I'm like, can I show you my boarding pass first? Because we're just trying to figure out where my bag is. Did I tell you guys my luggage got lost when I got Lufthansa? Always screws up the luggage. So it was annoying. It only took me an extra day though. All right. Calvin says, Mike, any issues with customs coming back to the States? None at all. It was really simple, very simple. I think the nice thing was I came through, my port of entry was Newark, and they just have it down much better than Chicago. Chicago is such a disaster coming in from abroad. The wait can be 20 minutes or it could be 2.5 hours, and you just never know. It just depends on what other flights came in and what time of day it is and how many people are on staff. It's just always a mess. But I came through Newark, and then that took me 15 minutes. Everything was super, super smooth. And then I flew from Newark to Chicago, so it was just a domestic flight. So no issues. No issues with custom at all. Peace Fly God says, No Blast 3 still a favorite? Absolutely, it still is. And Richard Wilson says, did you hear Jim Walmsley has a pair of Speed Goat prototypes with 8mm lugs? 8mm lugs? That sounds not right. How's that even possible? That's twice as deep as these. I mean, I don't think I've seen a shoe with 8mm lugs before. Like, even if you look at, what are some crazy lugs? I don't think these are all that useful, but like these are giant lugs on the More version 4, you know? And I feel like these are 5mm lugs, maybe. They might be 4mm lugs. And that just seems really big. But I guess he's been living in the Alps. I guess he it makes sense to have an 8mm lug shoe, especially in some of those transitional parts of the seasons, I guess. Andrew C says, saw you trying out the Coros Pace 3. How do you like it? Is it still laggy? Yes. I still think it takes about 20 seconds for it to update what you're doing. TW Randolph 2 says, Dan Whitehead was the name of the Australian trail YouTuber. Not Dan Whitehead. There's another guy. He was older. He was older than me. He did really beautiful motion graphics with maps, which I don't think Dan Whitehead does. But yeah, he was really, Dan Whitehead is also very good. Did he come down with Crohn's disease, Lyme's disease, something like that? But Dan Whitehead also very good, but not the guy that I'm thinking of. I don't think Dan has ever run in Tasmania. Kurt says, we had our passport checked like 3 or 4 times in Frankfurt when I was there a month or so ago, and Lufthansa lost one of my bags as well. I decided that I just do not like the Frankfurt. I think it's the Frankfurt airport that's really the problem, frankly. Every time I've come through Frankfurt, there's an issue, and the security checks there's so many. I don't understand why there's so many. It doesn't make sense to me. But it was really weird. Frank says, I think Katie Scheid complained about something with losing her luggage too. Well, that puts me in good company. Me, Kurt, and Katie Scheid. That's nice. I guess if as long as they're going to lose your luggage. It's not that they lost it. They just I made the connecting flight and the luggage didn't. And so it came on the next one, which didn't fly for another day. So, yeah. Gilberto Rosario says, hello, I'm deciding on switching from Garmin to Coros Pace 3. Have seen reviews and pacing problems and laggings. Any thoughts? I don't know I don't know what the difference is that you're saying between pacing problems and lagging. So I don't know what that means. So I'm not going to address what you are calling pacing problems, but I'll address what you call lagging. I think it takes about 15 to 20 seconds. Whatever you're seeing on the watch in terms of instant pace, like when it shows you the pace, that's what you were doing 15 to 20 seconds ago. So when I do intervals, which I did today, I tested the new Solomon S-Lab Phantasm 2. 4 minutes at threshold, 1 minute recovery. I would go from running threshold pace and immediately walking about 18 to 20 minutes per mile pace. It would take about 20 seconds, 15 to 20 seconds for that, going from 640 per mile to slowly go down to 18 minutes per mile. It takes 20 seconds. So CV76 says, at least you were not on the diarrhea plane. I don't even know what that is, but a lot of people got sick in UTMB. Last year, a lot of people had COVID at UTMB. This year, it probably was also COVID, but a lot of people seem to have had digestive issues or sick illness issues in some of the races. A lot of some of the in UTMB and also MCC and CCC and OCC. So I don't know. I wonder if some of the brands may all the brands seem to have athlete houses out there. I don't know about all. My experience is very limited, but it seems anecdotally that a lot of brands will have their athletes come out a week, 2 weeks ahead of time, maybe even a month out from the race, and they'll rent a house. And then all the athletes will stay together. They'll train together for the last month. They'll eat together. They'll hang out together. And I don't know if people are getting each other sick that way. So, it's a month though. It's a long time to be in a hotel, for example. But I don't know. Just with people getting sick up there, I just feel like maybe they need to be a little bit more careful. Maybe some changes need to be made. I don't know. Yeah, Sean Evans says Dan Whitehead has severe Crohn's. His videos are beautiful, running or just life stuff. Yeah, he makes really good cooking videos too. A lot of you guys don't like Frankfurt Airport too. This is awesome. Mark Peterson says Frankfurt sucks. There's nowhere to eat once you're through security. Frank says the Frankfurt Airport is weird. I agree with both of you guys on that. And Zolt Lenz says the Germans aren't precise anymore. Yeah, that's why I found it was so surprising that it's 2 times that I've had luggage lost. I had luggage lost 3 times. One time was with Southwest Airlines. That's my fault. The other 2 times were both with Lufthansa. And I'm just like, I just feel like that's surprising from a German brand. I don't know. Luke Klein says they didn't lose it, they just couldn't find it. I mean, they could find it. It just never made it to the next plane. I don't know. It just felt like a very European thing. Like, oh, it just didn't make it. You made it. You hustled and walked fast. I did have time. I have time to eat a sandwich. I picked up a sandwich along the way and a coffee, and walked quickly to my gate. I made the connecting flight. The bag didn't. I don't know. All right. Gilberto Rosario says 20 seconds is a lot. Garmin is very fast, in my opinion. Yeah, I feel like Garmin probably gives you a sense of where you were about 5 to 10 seconds ago. So it's not, it's not as quick as if you have a foot pod. But it always seems like it's way long with the Coros. Ultimately, for me, it doesn't really bother me all that much. Because for a lot of my running, I have the tracker on, and I'm mainly just looking at the data later, so I don't mind that much. But there are times where you're wondering, like, oh, is this the right effort? What's this pace translate to? What's the speed that this effort translates to? And you're just like, you just can't. For me, I have a hard time trusting the Garmin. I guess if I had the Coros Pod 2 to go with my Coros Pace 3, that speeds things up a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. Cheryl Ross says, when should we be on the lookout for your shakeout info, and where will we find it? The shakeout's going to be Saturday morning. I'm working on some other events too, that will be in addition to Saturday morning, some non-running events, some meetups. But I can tell you that it's going to be Saturday morning, the day before the race. But the finalized details that will probably go out like 7 to 10 days beforehand. And I'm going to say that's probably the case for everyone. It's not just me being like lazy about it. That's just how it always goes. So like, pencil in Saturday morning if you want. It'll probably be, you might be able to do the Abbott 5K and my shakeout run if you want. It might be a lot of running to do the day before a marathon. But since we're doing pizza, we're going to try to end it like early lunchtime, and the run early lunchtime. So it'll be in the morning-ish, late morning. But the exact details and like sign up links and stuff like that doesn't go up until a lot later. That's the same way it worked for Boston, for New York, CIM, stuff like that. So, but the information will go out for sure Instagram and the Kofuzi Run Club group in Strava. The Kofuzi Run Club group on Strava is the number one place. That's where I usually put the RSVP link. And then I'll put it in like Instagram stories and stuff too, and remind you guys that's there. And then if I remember, I'll probably put it on Threads because I've been using Threads. And then I'll probably also put it here in like a community post on YouTube. So, yeah. All right. And you know what? I think that's probably a pretty good place to leave it for today. I'm still working on a couple of things. The Rory Linklater interview. We had a good talk yesterday, so that'll hopefully go out tomorrow morning. And then the UTMB video I'm still working on as well. I'm shooting for Friday for that one. It should be a lot of fun. The footage is amazing. I don't normally show my kids, like, here's where I went, because it feels very much like the energy of like, hey guys, I had my European vacation put onto slides. Let's come on over and I'll put on a slideshow. It has that kind of energy to it. And my kids usually are like, whatever, we'd rather look at our iPad. But they actually looked at some of the photos and some of the videos and they're like, whoa. So it's gonna be pretty cool. So that's gonna be it. So that'll be hopefully Friday, but we'll also have another live stream tomorrow, same time as today. I'll be unboxing another shoe, something from Saucony. I think that'll probably go next. Really excited. It's one I've been waiting for a long time. So I'm pretty excited about that one. And so hopefully I'll see you then, same time as today, 1 p.m. Central Time. In the meantime, Be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.